Okay, squatters, welcome back to the Squatter Camp podcast. I'm so grateful to have you guys. I want to quickly dwell on this issue. This issue has been, one of those issues that draws attention to the public. By the way, I can speak about this now because it's public knowledge. It's something which is public. So, actually, the issue here, it's about Cyril Ramaphosa plotting to oust Paul Mashatile as his deputy. Politics is very, very rough. It's a very dirty game. And then I've mentioned before, I knew, by the way, that this will happen. I've mentioned before that Cyril Ramaphosa doesn't like Paul Mashatile and he doesn't want him to succeed him. So it's more like he's not comfortable around this man and he will do everything to get rid of him. And he's actually has started to do that. The signs are there. There's no smoke without fire. Where there's a smoke, you must know that somewhere there's fire. Now I want us to quickly talk about this. The WhatsApp messages which are alleged to be generated through AI, but anyway, who believes that nonsense? I don't want to talk about whether they are legit or they are not, but I'm gonna just quickly read through. This is a communication between two ministers who are actually involving the NPA in Northwest to actually reopen the case, which the SCA, the Supreme Court of Appeal, didn't find Paul Mashatile to have violated anything on his 2022 kind of ANC what. There are politics there in the ANC for perjury charges. So here, the instruction comes out from one minister to the NPA in the Northwest. If you become, a Chief Justice in South Africa, let's say, I want to talk about but politics is everywhere anyway. If you become a Chief Justice, the NPA boss, the prosecutor, all these people are captured, by the way. They've got people who gives them instructions and they take instructions from them and do exactly what they are being told. Even though they can deny on a public eye, but we know that somehow there's some sort of a trail of communication between politicians and senior government officials and people who are holding key positions. So here the communication is between the three people: the Minister of Justice, Kubai, the Minister in the Presidency, Nchabeni. I'll tell you why. I'm connected. This is how I want to connect these dots. And the third one is the NPA senior person in the Northwest. Anyway, the closest person to the president, if you want to know who's the closest person to the president, as we speak now, currently, it's two people, Magwinya and Nchabeni. Those are because they are the ministers in the presidency. So they actually facilitate communication on behalf of the president. That is why you see Cyril Ramaphosa doesn't really take much interviews and all of that. He avoids interviews at all costs. That man doesn't like interviews, dialogues, and he doesn't like it. He does when he's really supposed to. So Nchabeni actually has been earmarked by Cyril Ramaphosa to deputize him. The very same strategy that Thabo Mbeki tried to use, Cyril Ramaphosa is trying to do that. Remember Thabo Mbeki, what he did? He wanted to have, Mapisa Ngakula as his deputy in the name of we are empowering women. I've got a women deputy, I've got a woman deputy, and all of that. So actually, Cyril wants to get rid of Paul Mashatile, but he wants a smooth transition whereby they will push a smear campaign on Paul Mashatile at the same time promoting Nchabeni. Now their mission is out there in the public. It's alleged, but if we look at this and we connect the dots, it makes sense, by the way. So these two ministers, they are talking to each other on a WhatsApp. This other minister says, "Hi, how are you? Please proceed with the prosecution." Telling the NPA, in the Northwest that proceed with the prosecution, right? Of prosecuting who? Of Paul Mashatile. And then now, the person who's there in Northwest asks, "Did the president confirm that we should proceed?" The response is yes. He himself. So this person in Northwest is asking the minister in the Justice Department that, yes, he actually confirmed that, so as they proceed, the message is forwarded to prove that, yes, say, number one, said, proceed, speak to the name of the NDPP, National Director of Public Prosecutions. I just don't want to state people's names. They will sue my poor podcast and I might be in real trouble. I need to really be careful of this one. So this message is forwarded. And then now, Minister, this is coming from, this one is asking the other one that, where is this forwarded message coming from? And then now this minister from the Justice Department tells the NPA in the Northwest that, no, this is coming from the minister in the presidency, the closest person who is going to deputize Cyril Ramaphosa. We know who is that. Anyway, if you follow the train. So the response now is, okay, then we will proceed. Do I also leak it or your people will handle it? They normally develop a scandal. That's politics. And they leak the information as if it's leaked, but it's not leaked. It was deliberately publicized. A very sensitive case that they are handling. They want to publicize it to draw the attention of the media, by the way. I will use, there's two journalists, by the way, that are being mentioned here. I will use person A and person B from a particular newspaper, a well-known newspaper. And so this person say, I will keep the circle small to avoid leakage, as advised. I will only be the one trusted, and whatever that she was trying to write. But this is actually this person is literally saying, I'll keep the circle smaller. I don't want to let a lot of people, know about this, because there's a higher chance of leakage of this. And so now it's a thank you so much. Thank you, because you are going to do what I'm requesting you to do. The minister in the presidency, now the minister of justice, telling the Northwest that, oh, I appreciate, thank you, because you are going to do that. This is actually the structure. Now, this is leaked now. It's leaked on the 23rd of March, and this is how it reads. NPA reopens case against Mashatile, while the SCA Supreme Court of Appeal dismisses case by disgruntled ANC members. So now it's leaked, and they are using journalists. Now I want to come to the journalists. Journalists are also captured. Journalists, not all of them, many of them, they are also captured, and they are used as puppets by the politicians to perpetuate their own agendas, to pursue their own agendas, to destroy people's careers. And you know how politicians behave. They don't mind destroying people's careers because it's a game to them. And anyway, yes, arguably so, it's a game. So literally, Cyril Ramaphosa doesn't want Paul Mashatile to deputize him because he doesn't trust him. He is scared that if he ascends to become a president, remember, Paul Mashatile is a smooth operator. He's someone who's very quiet but very malicious, very poisonous. So he can cause chaos for Cyril. So he doesn't want him. So he wants Nchabeni to deputize him. And they are very close, and they are having a very, healthy relationship. I'm referring to President Cyril Ramaphosa and the minister in the presidency, Nchabeni. Magwenya is there. He's the most trusted. Remember, tribalism also plays a role in politics, especially in South Africa. If you can check, when President Thabo Mbeki was still president, Mandela was still president, Xhosas were the priorities and all of that. They were close, they were getting senior positions in government. It's a fact, by the way. People can deny that, but we can see it's a fact. So everybody comes with his own people from his tribe and all of that. This is tribalism now in South Africa. They are doing it, but we don't want to accept it anyway. That's fine. Jacob Zuma also became president. He also pulled Zulus together to say, listen, now is our time to eat. Come, let's eat. And you see now, Cyril Ramaphosa also is president now. He pulled all the vendors to say, hey, come, guys, let's eat. So that's how it works. We can't really argue about that. So Cyril Ramaphosa wants Nchabeni to deputize him so that he can start now feeling comfortable. He can start now doing whatever they are doing there. And he knows that if he actually leaves the office, he is going to leave the position in good hands, and he's not going to be prosecuted on the Marikana issue, on the Palapala issue, on the CR17. And so they will seal everything. So he's much safer. He doesn't trust this one. And by the way, Paul Mashatile will never be president. And the ANC is dying now. As much as it is dying, at the same time, there are people who are still hoping that they can make a living out of it. While we see the last kick of the dying horse, when we look at it, it's dropping the performance and everything. But this is basically what I've mentioned, I think, some time ago in one of my episodes, that Cyril Ramaphosa doesn't want Paul Mashatile to continue deputizing him. He is feeling very uncomfortable around that man. And if you look at these two leaders, they are running their own thing. They are running a parallel kind of leadership. This one is doing his own thing. Have you noticed? And this other one is also doing his own thing. So they are not, you will never find them working together. There's no working together kind of a relationship between these two men. And by the way, yes, they are professional. You need to maintain professionalism in any high position, just not to portray your weakness, that you don't like this person and all of that. But we can see that Cyril doesn't like Paul. And another thing, they are not working together, these gentlemen. So now it is out now. We can expect a whole lot, especially starting from towards the ends of this year. They want to tarnish his image. They want to create as many scandals. And by the way, Paul Mashatile is well aware of that. And he has also, he has got his sources, because this WhatsApp messages came to his attention before they could be, leaked to the public, that, hey, this is what people are actually plotting to cut you off, So he happened to know about them. At the same time, he will also use his own, kind of intelligence to fight this thing back. But at this stage now, Paul Mashatile cannot fight Cyril Ramaphosa, because Cyril Ramaphosa is on high alert and he's monitoring anyone who's saying anything adverse to what he wants. He will just kick them out. So we wait to see, but this is the current hot potato in the political space, that these two chaps, they don't get along. They don't like each other. They just happen to belong to the same organization, to work together, but they are working parallel. Everyone is doing his own thing. You'll find Paul Mashatile being chased there at Khayelitsha, Cyril Ramaphosa there in Soweto doing his own thing. So they campaign for the same party but doing different things, saying different things. That is why Mtate Moeletsi Mbeki said Cyril Ramaphosa is failing to get a grip of his own comrades, to control his party, political party. As he's running the ANC, he can't control him. And as much as he can't control ANC, he can also control the country. That is why you see everything falling apart. The Democratic Alliance doing its own thing, saying its own. By the way, I heard that Democratic Alliance saying they can sign for the VAT increase if Cyril Ramaphosa scraps the land bill, the land expropriation bill. So now they are holding him in a corner now, pushing him to do something. And if he reverses the land expropriation bill, the Democratic Alliance knows that it will knock him on the polls. People will now continue to disbelieve in the ANC, lose hope in the ANC. At the same time, the Democratic Alliance is fighting for the Afrikaners. They would have won their battle, and then at the same time, they will push for the VAT to carry on. But at the same time, they will use the same VAT to say, listen, you are failing because now, look, the food prices are high. What is not going. So they are actually setting up Cyril Ramaphosa for a fail. We stand to see, but this is where we are, squatters. Thank you very much for watching my content. Let's continue engaging. Thank you and welcome to the new subscribers. Click that notification bell when I drop the content. You happen to be the first to get it fresh. Thank you, squatters.